can't remember his name. But they were our instructors in P-39s at Selfridge.
Okay.
We had acquired possibly 200 hours, and trying to clamor to get into the officers club, well, that's another story. We got kicked out of Selfridge, literally.
You mean you got kicked out of the Selfridge Officer Club?
Out of Selfridge Air Force Base, period.
Is that right?
Our clamoring to get into the officers club, into Lufberry Hall, by the way. Named after Lufberry, after the guy who discovered the Lufberry circle. Our entrance into it, confrontation got to the newspapers, the NAACP, and others. And one day I was out over Lake Huron, flying gunnery, where you were firing at a target, towed by another plane. And the radio said, all officers report to the post theater on the double, as you are. Quite naturally, you dropped everything, you stopped, you landed, walked up to post theater. And at the time, there were approximately 40 to 50 black officers on post. Approximately 150 to 200 white officers on post. The great majority of black officers were second lieutenants, possibly 4 or 5 first lieutenants. These were the combat veterans who had come back from overseas. We were milling around in the post theater, and I said, what's going on? Nobody knows. All of a sudden, somebody said, "Teacher!" We stood up, popped to, and down the aisle stood a 2-star general. Said to herself, what the heck's going on? At ease, had a seat. He rambled on and on for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then these are the words I remember. These words stick with me. Gentlemen, this is my airfield. As long as I'm in command, there will be no socialization between white and colored officers. Are there any questions? Well, what the heck are you going to say? If there are any questions, I will deal with that man personally. Change up. We stood up, he walked out. That was Thursday. They locked the gates. We could not leave post. White officers could leave. The significance is that we were under arrest. Saturday morning, they backed in a Pullman train and put us on the Pullman train with all of our enlisted mechanics. All of our mechanics were black. That train left Selfridge with Port Huron, through the tunnel to Canada, across Ontario to Niagara Falls, or whereabouts, then proceeded to go south. To this day, we have never seen PCS.
PCS being what?
Permanent change of station.
Okay.
Quarters. Transferring us from Selfridge to Walterboro, South Carolina. 45 miles west of Charleston, 85 miles northwest of Savannah. A small airfield that was built along the eastern seaboard in case of invasion. Staffed by a group of non-coms, white non-coms. When the train stopped, we jumped off quite naturally, pinks and greens of New Air Base. And every 20 feet, there's a little white soldier with a rifle. And we were curious, as said, later on, 5 or 10 minutes later, they disappeared. We found out later that they had been told that there was a bad bunch of, I can't use the N word, who had rioted at Selfridge Air Force Base and been sent south. We were rioters. I was only at Walterboro Army Air Base for possibly 2 weeks. And my class was sent overseas. We were the replacement pilot. We went to Hampton Roads, Virginia,
Okay.
and we're set overseas.
Before we get there, what actually happened at Southfield? Did you try to enter the...
Tried to enter the officers' club.
And then...
Told us hell no.
Okay.
I had guards on the gate, on the doors.
Mm-hmm.
We were rebuffed.
Okay.
Well, meanwhile, they took a room in the barracks, in building 304, and one of the rooms put a wooden bar in there and said, "Okay, guys, this is your bar. This is your..."
Okay. And so that started all this.
That started all that mess.
And so
The newspapers got it. NAACP had it.
Mm-hmm.
Quite naturally, all of our parents knew about it.
Mm-hmm. Were there any scuffles, or was there any...
Oh, no physical, no physical.
Oh, okay.
It's just that whole idea that we were denied entrance to the officers' club.
Okay. Okay. All right. Now, like I said, now you're back at Hampton Roads.
Hampton Roads.
Okay.
We were put on a boat, and the boat zigzagged across the ocean. We had the staterooms on the top deck.
Okay. You remember what year this might have been?
May. Oh no, I know. Because on June 7th on June the 7th we were on the ocean, going across the ocean.
Okay.
D-Day. D-Day.
Well, what year was that?
44.
44.
June 44.
Okay. Okay.
We got in Oran, North Africa, on the 9th. Yeah, 9th of June.
Okay. Okay. So you zigzag.
Yeah, one ship all by itself. It did everything.
Okay. And so where did you land in
Oran, North Africa, through Gibraltar, to Oran, North Africa, and then a small ship took us over to Naples.
Okay.
Next 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 days, a week, I don't remember. It took long.
How long did it take you to get across the ocean?
4 days, 5 days.
What was that like for a pilot?
Well, it was enjoyable. Yeah, we were on top deck, sunning ourselves, swimming pool. We had a ball.
Okay.
We had a good time.
Okay, it was like an ocean liner then.
It was an ocean liner.
Okay.
Oh no, it wasn't a troop ship.
Oh.
No, this was an ocean liner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had staterooms on the top deck with nurses. Oh God. Did we have fun?
So let's say now you were in Africa.
North Africa.
What happened then?
We were only there for 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
It was very uneventful. We got over to Naples.
Okay.
Stayed in Naples 2 or 3 days. And then a truck ride in a back end of a truck across Italy to Ramatelli.
Okay.
Ramatelli is our base. We're the 100th, the 301st, and the 302nd squadrons. 16